In this video, we're going to be running through some of the most common basketball training questions that we have found on the internet. Just going to give my perspective on them, hopefully answer that question for you guys, and then give you guys some value that you guys can take and use, whether you're a basketball player or a basketball trainer.
First question, can anyone being you, provide me with a basketball training routine?
So that's a good question. I think a lot of people ask that. Oh, what's a good basketball routine to improve my handle? What's a good basketball routine to improve my shooting? I think the whole word routine creates a little bit of an issue, right? The whole point of a routine, my morning routine, my night routine, is to eliminate thinking, right? I don't have to think about it. It's just second nature. I just do it. But when we look at how do we improve, you need to be thinking. You need to be challenging yourself. The whole point of a routine is to make it easy. The whole point of getting better is it being difficult, it being challenging, being outside of your comfort zone. So if you're doing a routine, day one, it might be a little bit tough. Day two, day three, it starts to get easier and easier, and then you don't even think about it. By day five, you're essentially getting no return from that work that you are putting in. So the whole point of a routine counteracts what we're trying to do in terms of getting better. So I wouldn't look at what is a routine that I can do, but what is the goal that I'm trying to achieve, and what is something that I can do to get me closer to that, and then how can I constantly change it so it's not a routine, so it's not second nature, so I'm not going through the motions. We want to be challenging ourselves, we want to be thinking, we want it to be difficult.
How can I improve my basketball IQ and decision-making skills?
I mean, that's a relatively easy answer, but we're gonna make a whole YouTube video on this, so if you're not already subscribed so you guys can see that in a couple weeks. So this is a really good question. This is a very complex question, so I'll answer it kind of briefly. I'd say the first step is learning a lot of if this, then that situation. So this can be through film, this can be on court by a coach teaching you, but I think a lot of people stop here, right? A coach says, hey, if a player overplays you, go back door. If you're in this situation on a pick and roll, make this pass. And they just think, okay, because I can consciously understand what I need to do, I should be improving my basketball IQ. I should be making better decisions, but it does not work that way. Every decision that you make in a game is subconscious, it's instincts, right? You don't have time to think, okay, this guy's doing this, let me make that pass. Game's way too fast for that. So it needs to become instincts, it needs to become second nature. So we're going to learn a lot of these if this, then that situations, and then we're gonna go play pickup. We're gonna go play small-sided games. And then you're gonna make a bad pass and you're gonna know, I should have done this based on the film, based on what my coach taught me. And then over time, after you make that mistake 2, 3, 4 times, it starts to become a little bit more subconscious, and then you just start to do it without thinking. So this is a constant iteration of going to learn, going to watch film, learning if this, then that. If this player does this, this is the finish I should do. If this player rotates here, this is the pass that I should make. Now, it's not always 100% accurate, but you're just starting to build that bank of general knowledge. Then we go to the court and then we start to build that into more of the instincts, more of the second nature where you don't have to think about it. So that's a very general answer. And again, like I said, we're gonna make a whole in-depth video on this, so make sure you guys are subscribed.
How do I balance basketball training with my studies?
So that's a very important question. I think a lot of players have trouble with that. And I think a lot of players have trouble because they think they need to be working out for 4 hours a day to get better. They see a lot of motivational videos online. They see a lot of Kobe highlights where he's in the gym 6 hours a day. But that in reality is not what you need to do to get better. You can get a lot better in 90 minutes a day, 60 minutes a day, 2, maybe 45-minute blocks a day. You don't need a ton of time to see drastic improvement if you are working out the right way. I think the really hard part is trying to balance it because you think you need to be in the gym all day. If you're not in the gym, you feel like you're not getting better. So it's all about being targeted with your work, scheduling when you're gonna be studying, scheduling when you're going to be working out, sticking to that and being efficient. I think a lot of people waste a lot of time that they don't really notice. Hey, I'm gonna go work out, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. They get in there, they're slow to get ready, they're slow to put on their shoes, they're chit-chatting, they're on their phone, they're taking longer breaks than they need to, and then they're taking their time getting out, they get home, they're taking a lot of time to get into their studying, right? You can cut out a lot of time and create more time for you to do both by just being more efficient with your time. Time block, schedule when you're going to be doing each thing, and then make sure you guys are efficient with that, right? If you're studying, be studying. If you're working out, be working out. Don't be doing 7 different things during everything because you're gonna get nothing done in a lot of time. Right? So the whole point is to just structure your day, find where you can be efficient, do what you need to do when you need to do it, and just eliminate the distractions. Any kid on earth who wants to get better, both academically and in terms of basketball, you have plenty of time to do that. You just have to eliminate a lot of the bullshit.
What are some of the biggest mistakes in basketball training?
So 2 that come to mind right away is A, thinking that you need to do exactly what you do in a game and that's the only way to get better. Just repeat the same thing as many times as you possibly can, and that's how you improve. If you want to improve your spot up shooting, just shoot a bunch of spot up shots. Anything outside of that is a waste of time. That's not game-like. You would never do that in a game, so why do it in practice, right? That mentality is absolutely terrible, and thinking that just repeating the same thing over and over again is gonna get you better Absolutely not. When we look at what actually helps players get better, it's that challenge, it's that variability, it's that contextual interference. If you're shooting the same shot over and over and over again or doing the exact same skill, you eliminate the challenge. The analogy that I like to use is, okay, if I gave you a math problem and I said, what's 20 times 20? And you didn't get it the first time, but you could get it the second time. And then I asked you, what's 20 times 20? And then over and over and over again, you're not gonna have to think, you just know the answer. Right? But that's not how you're going to get better. It's the same thing with skills. We need to be mixing it up. We need to be challenging ourselves, and we need to not be doing the same exact thing over and over again. Yes, there's times that we can do it, but overall, that's not how you're gonna get better. The second thing is thinking that doing a lot of on-air work, repping things out on air is gonna get you better. Simply not. To think that we can remove the most important part of the game from training and then just plug it back in when the game time comes and that it's gonna work is just absolutely ridiculous to me. A large part of the game, the majority of the game, is being able to make decisions, to do the right thing at the right time. Everyone has the certain skills that you need. Everyone can make spot-up jump shots. Everyone can do certain footwork when there's no defense, there's no pressure, there's no coach yelling at them, there's no fans in the stands, right? Everyone can do it there. But second it goes into the game, everything goes out the window. So we need to make sure that we're training under the same circumstances that we're playing in. The more that we can do that, the more our skills are actually going to transfer, the better we're going to perform in a game. So if you think that, hey, I don't have a partner, I can't go play pickup, and you think that your training by yourself every single day is going to translate and work in a game, you're absolutely kidding yourself. It's just not going to happen. Yes, you might not have the best resources, but you need to utilize your resources the best that you possibly can. If you guys have a partner, you need to utilize that as much as you can. If you can go play pickup, do it as much as you can. You look at all the best players in the NBA, pretty much all of them just grew up playing pickup. They didn't train on air. They weren't working on their basics, just repping out a jab step all day. They were not doing that, right? But now we have everyone preaching what players should be doing. They should be working out 7 hours a day on air, doing what Kobe did and just repping out the same shot. Again, it's a little bit crazy. So those are kind of the biggest mistakes that I think that pretty much everyone makes. And you can save a lot of time, you can save a lot of struggle, you can save a lot of mental stress by just doing things the right way and not listening to essentially what mainstream people will tell you.
What are the essential basketball skills that every player should focus on?
Shooting for one. If you can't shoot, unless you're 6'8", crazy athletic, insane defender, your chances of making it very far are slim to none. Now with that said, not everyone is the best shooter, but we see players in the NBA who aren't the best shooters. You look at them in high school, they're still dropping 40, 50 points. So you're comparing, oh, Russell Westbrook can't shoot. You put Russell Westbrook in a gym by himself, he's making 75% of the shots. And so you think, oh, because I make 30% in my workouts, I'm not the best shooter, but compare yourself to Russell Westbrook, it's ridiculous. So point blank, you need to be able to shoot. You need to be able to shoot at a very high level, especially if you're by yourself. You shouldn't be missing 8 shots in a row. If you can't do that, if you can't make 5 threes in a row from every single spot pretty easily, you doing 7 combo moves, you adding these crazy moves to your bag isn't really doing anything. Shooting number one. Be able to protect the ball, don't lose the ball, don't turn the ball over. You need to have some sort of basketball IQ, some sort of knowledge. And then I would just say being able to attack, get inside the paint and make passes. You need to be able to catch and attack, you need to be able to jab, you need to be able to shot fake, you need to be able to do these simple things that aren't that simple but are very valuable at the high level. If you can do those 3 things, you can pretty much play in college as long as you're not 5'2". Like if you can catch and shoot, if you can shoot off the dribble, if you can not turn the ball over, get by people, make reads off the catch, you can play at the next level. But most players can't do that, so.
How often do I need to practice to see significant improvements?
I would say a minimum of 60 minutes a day, going hard and being productive for 60 minutes a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Now there's a lot of things you can do off the court when you're not physically practicing, like studying film, all that kind of stuff, working on your body. Minimum would be 60 minutes. Now ideally we can get up to 2 hours and that would be split between 2 different practice sessions. So maybe 1 in the morning, 1 at night. If you can do that, I think you're in a good place. If you can do that over time consistently, you can constantly be challenging yourself, you constantly being productive within that time frame, I think you guys can see drastic improvement. Maybe mixing in a pickup 1, 2, 3 times a week, taking Sunday off, working on your body, working on your mental state, working on your IQ. You put all that together over a 10-year period, I think you guys can get a lot better.